Michael, death usually come along with a number of reactions. And key among these reactions is shock, surprise, agony, misery, and sadness. For me, the announcement of his death came with all these things, in addition to reasoning and rationalizing with the situation. I think 2 or 3 days after the earthquake, there were a number of reports that he's been found. And those of us who wished for his life, prayed earnestly for him to live, were happy that he's been found, and the reports were that his left leg was broken, and that is what is being repaired, but he's okay. So when it came up that those reports were false, and those who carried the reports admitted that it was a mistaken identity, then I started thinking. I tried to rationalize with the entire situation of how the whole thing happened. Now, if you look at Atsu's situation, you can liken it to a soldier who has gone out to fight on behalf of the country and does not return home. You can liken it to a Muslim who is gone out on jihad. Jihad simply means fighting for Islam, not fighting with arms. But even when you go out there to preach the word of Allah, you are doing jihad. If you go out there to work, to earn money, to feed your family, you are doing jihad. Because in Islam, Allah considers even taking good care of your family as charity. So you can liken Atsu's situation to that. Now, somebody goes out on jihad and the person does not return home. You can liken his situation to that. When the news came that it's been confirmed that he's gone and he's late now, one question I kept asking myself was, looking at the entire earthquake situation and the number of days that he spent before he was discovered, what was he going through? That was what was really rocking my mind. His situation at that time, the defining moments for him, hope and despair at that particular moment, was something that I was thinking about. Now, this morning I said it on Original, that if you don't take care in situations of this nature, you may even end up being blasphemous by speaking in a way that you may end up questioning God for what he is doing. But for all you know, we only have the gift of life. We don't determine when we live or when we die. That is not our prerogative. It's in the hands of the one who gave it to us. So when he decides to take it, you can't question him, because you did not question him when he decided to give it to you. You understand the situation? So it comes out with a lot of things. Now, when you begin to think about these things, the only thing you need to appreciate is that, and the Quran says that كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. That why do we keep doing things that question the greatness and the might of Allah? Why do we do things that challenge the wonders and the powers of Allah? وَكُنْتُمْ أَمْوَاتًا, when we were dead and God decided to bring us to the world. Before you were created, where were you? You were nowhere. He decided to bring you to the world. ثُمَّ يُمِيتُكُمْ, He will kill us again. ثُمَّ يُحْيِيكُمْ, and He will raise us again. And that is judgment day. ثُمَّ إِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ, and to Him we will return. So the Prophet tells us that life is a journey. The world is a transit point. For those of us who have traveled a lot, you travel to a place and you have to be on transit perhaps for 21 hours or a whole day. For example, if you are traveling to a place like Japan and you use Dubai, you spend 21 hours at the Dubai International Airport on transit before you move. Now, at the transit period, you are just waiting to move. So whatever happens within that period is happening like in a flash of a pan. So that is how we have to see ourselves living in this particular world. We are living on transit. So we must be ready for whatever the situation is at any point in time. To be very honest with you, anytime I close from work and I get to the house in the evening late and I meet my kids still waiting for me to embrace me before they go and sleep, I didn't understand them well until this Christian Atsu situation opened my eyes. Yes. So I got the feeling that the boys are happy because their dad is back at home. It is possible dad will go and not return. When that situation happens, what happens? And that is the sad aspect of the whole situation. So, for me, Michael, Atsu's whole story, I think those who are deeply religious and can meditate a lot should think about it. I think it's a message. I'm yet to get it, but I think God is sending us a message.
Sheikh,
because if you look, Michael,
I'll come back to you. So
let me conclude. If you look at Atsu and the good things that he does, if for nothing at all, forget about the orphans, forget about this, forget about that, the prisoners alone, somebody will ask, why is it that such a good person goes through this situation before bidding goodbye to the world? I think there is a message therein. We have to look for it.
Sheikh, we'll go into, some people have criticized the media, they have criticized Atsu's Club High Tespo, and people that were behind the news of Christian Atsu being found. They feel that those people have done Ghana and Christian and his family a great disservice. Perhaps it hampered, or perhaps it reduced the level of energy, the level of effort that went into rescuing the young man very early in the days when the tragedy happened.
Well, I first of all think that they are right in their own senses to criticize whatever situation it is. But I don't think the earlier news of his discovery has got to do with the fact that they couldn't dig out for him that early. In fact, if you follow the story, and the time they even got to the building within which Christian was housed, to dig to the floor that Christian was in, it took them over 10 days to be able to get there. So even if the news had come earlier or late, it would still have taken them that time to get to that particular building and the floor to dig to get to where they got to. Now, whenever I'm discussing issues of this nature, my Islamic values come to play, because the more you think about the situation, it gives you a different perspective. Whatever has been destined to happen will happen no matter what we do. So for me, I think that the reports at that time that came from a journalist in Turkey, confirmed by his club, and even the Ghanaian High Commission in Turkey also fed on that particular report. You can't blame anybody. For all you know, everybody was eager to see the guy alive. You understand? So for me, I don't think that the reports slowed down the search for him. In fact, in that building, he was not the only one. And as far back as about 7 days or 8 days, they were still discovering live people, including children and all those things. So hopes were still kept alive, even when they had not gotten to his building to dig to the 9th floor that we are reported, that is reported that he was in. So for me, I don't think it's the reports that slowed down the search for him. I think it was something that was destined to happen, and it happened.